Hibs, Hibernian FC, Hibs boys, Hibs casuals, CCS, Capital City Service, coming at you. Del Boy B, DEREK DIABLO, Miami Casuals, IMF Inter Miami Firm, Diablo TV. I'm talking to the entire football community, football world, football hooligan world, football casuals world, Ultras barra bravas. Like and subscribe to my channel, the top on the entire planet of all genres. Now then, talking about the Hibs, talking about Scotland hooligans, Scotland casual. So for anybody that follow my videos, as you're supposed to, take a look at those so you can learn and build your mind. I've been talking about Scotland every so often because it keeps coming up, because those lads keep popping off into my comments and on the internet and in the Facebook. But this is going on for a long time now. And the thing about it is, I never really thought about Scotland, to be honest with you. I'm an Anglophile, I'm into British culture, but then British became United Kingdom, so Scotland, Wales, Ireland, that's all part of it, even though it's a bit confusing, sometimes a bit uncertain. But Scotland, I never was attracted to Scotland in and of itself. For, you know, you got the Braveheart movie, that's pretty cool, Mr. Melvin Gibson, I like that and everything, but that wouldn't be enough for me to like want to get into their culture and imitate their accents. And I didn't hear no music, and I don't know, I guess One Skin Deep football violence tunes from Falkirk, but I don't really hear nothing about their firm in particular or nothing like that. So it's only because of talking to lads and meeting jocks, meeting Scottish, and meeting lads who had encounters with them and fights with them and everything. Little by little though, I've become more obsessed by Scotland, and not really anything else besides the football gangs, you know. But so you have Glasgow. You know, that's hard. Everybody knows Glasgow Razor gangs, and Glasgow's ill, ruthless. And then Edinburgh, I knew about it because it's a capital, but it doesn't really get talked about quite as much as Glasgow as far as gangs and everything like that. But then I'm talking about Aberdeen because of the casuals. They're one of the original casuals. But then I originally knew about Celtic because I knew them, like there's St. Pauli in Amsterdam, and there's IMF in Greece. There's like anti-fascist firms. So then through the punk rock and the skinheads and the rash, red and anarchist skinheads into the anti-fascist skinhead scene and everything like that, it always overlapped with the football scene. So then that's how I come to know about Celtic and everything like that. But you know, as I come to find out more about the Scotland scene, I'm the type of person, I'm gonna pick a side. It's like that, you know what I'm talking about? And that doesn't mean I'm opposed to everybody else, but I typically would be opposed to their worst enemies. You know what I mean? Because with certain enemies, you can't be on both sides. With your main fixture in this type of thing here, your main enemies. So, Hibs, Hibernian FC, their top enemies, their rivals in the Edinburgh, in the Edinburgh area. And that fixture, Hearts, Heart of Midlothian, Hearts Casuals. So the thing about it is, it seemed like, because if you look at the Real Football Factory International, really how I first seen all this stuff, you know what I mean? I knew Exploited is from Edinburgh. I've been knowing about the city of Edinburgh. I've been knowing about the city of Glasgow. I didn't know about Aberdeen and some of these other places. I didn't know about Ardere, you know, or Ardrey, excuse me, Ardrey. They got the Section B firm. Those are tough. I know that. You got your Motherwell SS. I know that those are tough. You even got some other firms from some of these other strange cities. They got some of these strange names, Kilnarrock and everything like that. But to talk about the CCS, the Capital City Service, I'm thinking of, I used to think Rangers, once I got into this stuff, Rangers was the top. But from what I see, it's Hibs. And then when you talk about Hibs, and I've been going into their history and everything like that, man, it's a whole history of Scotland. And brother, it is indeed high voltage, because their history is one of football hooliganism. They had football hooliganism before casuals came out, and then their casual scene came out. And the thing about it is, they Green Army, they green. And I see they got the Irish connection. And then the Irish connection leads to connection with Manchester United and Colin Blaney and me thereby and Green Army and Plymouth. And they even got a ship like the Mayflower on their crest. And furthermore, they used the Union Jack, but green, black, and white. We Plymouth we use the Union Jack green and white. And there's a phenomenon in America, although it's not spread all over America, where gangs with the same colors regard themselves as cousins. For example, hey buddy, simmer that motorcycle down. I'm busy. Cheers, mate. Now then, for example, here you had Folk Nation and Crips, since they both wear blue on the East Coast, and that they say they're cousins. Now, the Crips from LA go to New York. I've been with them, and they didn't feel like they was cousins with them, but since they both bang blue rag, they both feel they're cousins, at least here, where I'm from, with what I know. So, in that regard, Plymouth and Hibs, I'm just proposing that there may be some kinship there. And if in fact there's kinship, then I will also partake in that kinship. So I say, we have a sit down. Hibs, Plymouth, Miami, we have a fry up. And Scottish breakfast has your blood pudding in there, or your black pudding. So we bring a little bit of that in there, no problem. I hear you like to eat fried Mars bars. Well, I'll eat a fried Mars bar. So, as far as the Scottish hooligan scene goes, this is the first video in the series. I thought it was going to be about Rangers, because I thought that was the top. But Hibs keep poking at me and surrounding me on every side. And the deeper I go, I see that the CCS is indeed the top. But give respect to Aberdeen in the history of Scotland as being responsible for the introduction of the casuals culture. But the Hibs firm was already there before casuals came out. Respect to all the Scotland hooligans, but I think 2020, all the history to this point, Hibs #1, CCS.